everyone. Again, I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday. And I hope you guys are looking forward to, as we move into 2022, of what's coming up for you. Now, tonight we're going to be talking about one of the first astrological events that we're going to have moving forward into 2022. And we are starting off the month of January with the infamous Mercury Retrograde. Now, personally, I like the retrograde periods, and the reason I like the retrograde periods is it gives me an opportunity to sit and just slow down and reflect on things that I have going on in my life. It gives me the opportunity to look at certain projects, relationships, situations that I may have going on, and it gives me the time to possibly course correct or to just reflect on whether or not I am moving in the direction that I want to move in. So I appreciate the retrogrades because it's a period of renewal, reflection, review, you know, regenerating yourself, but just being able to slow down and just pay attention to the path that you're on and making sure, hey Katrina, and making sure that you're on the right path. So I love the Mercury retrogrades. Now, are they a little bit inconvenient? Can they throw a monkey wrench in our lives and disrupt our lives a little bit? Absolutely, absolutely. But if you are prepared for it, then the disruption is not as bad as it could be. Instead of you being reactive, you're more proactive because you know what's coming up for you, and you know that certain things that come through that could be a little bit disruptive, but they don't shock you as much as you weren't if you weren't prepared. So I love getting everyone prepared for that. So Mercury retrograde, some of the standard things. First of all, Mercury is the planet that rules all things communication. So when we talk about communication, this is how we think, this is how we process information, this is how we communicate with others. This is also the planet that controls, governs transportation. Hey, Marsha, that controls transportation of all forms, travel. It also is the planet that governs over electronics, things of that nature. Anything that has moving parts or little moving parts. But it's all about the communication. Anything that falls under communication falls under Mercury. So that's why we always caution you to, especially contracts, to sign any type of contracts or agreements during a Mercury retrograde, because the wording may not be as clear as it needs to be, and then maybe there's something that you missed in the contract that was very important, but you signed off on it. Don't go into any type of agreements, verbal or contract, because it may not be what you think it is later on once the Mercury retrograde has passed. This is also a time that we caution you with initiating anything new, any new projects, a new job, especially a new relationship. During a Mercury retrograde and a Venus retrograde, which we are in a Venus retrograde now, it is not a good thing to start a new relationship under this kind of energy, because it, again, may not turn out to be what you thought it was once the retrograde energy has passed. Caution you to be very, very mindful when you're driving, because studies have shown that there's an increase in accidents during Mercury retrograde because people are not paying attention. So there's a lot of accidents during this time. Be mindful of your vehicle, mechanics of your vehicle. There's a lot of breakdowns, because Mercury governs our transportation. So just be mindful of your car needing some type of repair. A lot of times major repairs come up for our vehicles during this time. Now, some of the other things that come about is you start to hear from people from the past, okay? So you may hear from people from your past. That can look like friends, family, Exes are notorious for coming back during a Mercury retrograde and a Venus retrograde, again, which we are having both simultaneously. So running into people from the past, or even if you don't run into someone from the past, you may start to think about people from your past, and it's a lot of times it has to do with love interests from the past. Now, there's some good things to a Mercury retrograde. So this is all about reflection. So some of the things that can happen that are more of a positive thing is if there's any missed opportunities that you had in the last few months, you may get another opportunity with missed opportunities that you had. A lot of times you will find if there was a job that you applied for, that you didn't get a position or you didn't get the job, you may hear something about that come back up, and that opportunity may come back around for you. Okay, this is a great time to go back to any creative projects, any goals or long-term goals that you had for yourself that you felt like did not get off the ground, or did not have the support that you needed. This is time for you to go back and look at those projects again and look at them with fresh new eyes, because maybe you missed something, or maybe you could look at it differently because you're being able to reflect on it and get those creative projects off the ground. But so it's good for anything about that is taking you back. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Not initiating anything new, but okay, I guess I'm getting spam. So let me ban you real quick. Alright, so I'm gonna ban them real quick. Alright, so anyway, so that's how the Mercury retrograde works. So does anyone have any questions regarding how the Mercury retrograde will show up in your life? So moving on. Now, the Mercury retrograde always goes through a particular sign. So whatever sign that the retrograde is being hosted by, that particular sign feels the energy a little bit more intensely than others. So the signs that are going to be impacted by this Mercury retrograde are, number one, is always Gemini and Virgo. And the reason they are always impacted is because Mercury rules Gemini and when the spammers show up, you know you made it. I guess so. That's the first time I've had some spammers. But yeah, I blocked them real quick. Okay, so the signs that are going to be impacted by this Mercury retrograde, of course, are Gemini and Virgo, because they're both governed by Mercury. So these people understand this energy. Yes. These people understand this energy. So even though they're more impacted by it, they know how to move in this energy. So the chaos of this energy does not bother them as much as others. So because they understand the energy, because this is their own personal energy. The other two signs that are going to be impacted, of course, are the signs that are going to be hosting the retrograde. And for this retrograde, it's going to be our Aquarians and our Capricorns. So they will be feeling this energy. And interesting enough, the retrograde is going to be split between these two signs. Normally it's like in one sign, but Mercury is going to kind of do a dance and go back. So Aquarius is going to get it the first half, and then Capricorn is going to get it the second half. So we're looking at Gemini, Virgo, Aquarius, and Capricorn will be feeling this energy somewhat more personal than others. But everybody's going to be impacted by it. Overall, as a collective, it will just look differently to everyone. Yes, I should say not my sun sign and rising sign. Yes, it is. But it's a good thing. It's how you work with the energy. Gives you a chance to slow down and reflect. Okay, and if you don't do anything, it just gives you time to relax. Just gives you time to relax. So, do we have any questions so far before we start breaking down how this retrograde is going to affect you with regards to your rising sign? Again, the dates for the Mercury retrograde are officially January the 14th through February the 3rd. Now, we always have a shadow period, which means you can already start to feel the energy prior to these dates. So the shadow period will actually start December the 29th. Now, this is, as early as when you can start feeling this energy. And some of you may be experiencing it already, because I always give it 2 weeks to a month prior to it officially starting, that you may be already experiencing some of the effects of a Mercury retrograde. And the post-shadow period is going to run until February the 24th. So after February the 3rd is the official end date, but you will still have until February the 24th where you could possibly still feel some of that energy before it is totally gone. Okay? So as far as I'm concerned, I would say you could just go ahead and start saying that the Mercury retrograde is here now. Okay? And it's going to last to the 24th, just so you can be safe. So, so we have the dates. Now, breaking them down, January the 14th through the 24th, the retrograde is going to be in Aquarius, okay? And then January the 25th through February the 3rd, the retrograde will be in Capricorn. That is how it's going to divide up. So, is everyone clear on the dates and how this works? Clear on the dates. And if not, you can ask me and I'll give you the dates. So we're going to start first things first. Aries rising, sun or moon. The Mercury retrograde is going to be in the area of your life that governs your friends, the social groups that you're a part of, your long-term goals, dreams, and wishes, technology. And it's also going to have everything to do with the area that governs your career, your public image, your public standing, authority figures, and how you show up in society. So, first part of the month, January 14th through 24th, is in Aquarius. You will probably feel this energy by way of your friends. So this could look like, for my Aries risings, friends from the past showing up. Friends from the past possibly reaching out to you. You could also start to all of a sudden just think about some people that you were in friendship with coming back around, or you thinking about them, or you wanted to reach out to them. This could also look like social groups that you were a part of. And when I say social groups, this could be groups on or off the internet. This could be a group that you were a part of that's on the internet or in person of some sort, and also your long-term goals, dreams, and wishes. So if I were you, Aries risings, this is what I would use this energy for. I would definitely use this energy for reevaluating any of my friendships, to see if there is a breakdown in my friendships. If there has been tension with your friends, there may be an issue that arises that comes back that you thought that the two of you may have worked out, and it comes back around again, okay? So energy around things from the past that have to do with your friend groups. This will also look like those of you that are part of any type of social groups. You may want to you may feel like reevaluating whether or not that those groups and their purpose or what they stand for still resonates with who you are. So definitely reviewing your association or your affiliation with groups, and also your long-term goals. I would strongly suggest that you go over and start to review your long-term goals. No, you're not. Review your long-term goals to see if they still align with who you are, see if they still align with the direction that your life is going in. You may find out that some goals and dreams that you have for yourself really aren't at the forefront of your life anymore, and you may need to either adjust them, or maybe you just need to scrap them entirely and it's time for another set of goals for yourself. Okay, so that's how that will play out for you, the first part of this retrograde. Now the second part of the retrograde has everything to do with your career. So this would be good for those of you that want to reassess your career goals, the direction that your career is going in. This may look like opportunities that you may have had with regards to your career that you thought may have passed you by, come back around again, okay? So I would say to you, if you're an Aries risings that was interested particularly in a job that you wanted, and maybe you got passed over for it, or you didn't hear back any information on it, go back to those old career goals that you had for yourself and see if you can rework them at this time, to see if you can breathe new life into them. Okay, now this is also the area that has to do with authority figures, and this is the house that has to do with our parents, particularly our father. So for those of you who still have your father in your life, this may spark a renewal of a relationship with your dad if you guys have been estranged. This could also spark a conversation to be had with regards to your father, or someone that is in, I guess, more of a parental type role in your life. You may get the opportunity to renew the relationship with that person during this time. But if anything, I would strongly suggest, Aries risings, that you go over your career path and make sure that your career path is still going in the direction that you want it to go. So this is going to be all about attention to your career and attention to your friend groups, your social groups, and your long-term goals during this Mercury retrograde. Okay? Taurus rising, sun or moon. That's you, Tanya. The first half of the Mercury retrograde, you're going to be another one. The first half of the Mercury retrograde has to do with your career. So, Taurus risings, again, you're going to be the same as your Aries risings, about going on over career aspirations, reviewing your career goals. Yes, reviewing your career goals, opportunities from the past. No, you didn't miss Aquarius. We haven't even gotten to it yet. So, going over career opportunities from the past, reviewing your career goals, career opportunities coming back around for you, and possibly a renewal of a relationship, or maybe a dynamic with regards to your father that comes up that needs to be addressed during this time. This will be a great time for you to address those things. Now, the second half of the Mercury retrograde is going to have to do with the area that governs your higher education, long distance travel. This is also the area that has to do with legal proceedings, religion, your belief system, and foreigners. So we're looking at the possibility of Taurus risings considering going back to school. So that would be great for you to consider going back to school during this time. It will also be great for you if you were able to do some type of travel, international travel of some sort. But I would say the travel should be possibly somewhere that you've already been before, not into a new location, but somewhere that you've been before. This can also look like a renewal of, or you kind of reflecting on your belief system. So this could look like reaffirming your spiritual beliefs, reaffirming your religious beliefs. So this could definitely look like yes, you need to go back for your real estate classes. Okay, so this could definitely look like you going in and just renewing yourself and your spirituality, getting grounded again in those things that you put your beliefs into. So a total renewal of that, a reaffirming of those areas in your life. And this could also have you being in contact with foreigners. And when I say foreigners, that could actually be people of a different race, that could be people of a different culture, a different country, or if it's none of that, it's just people coming back into your life that are just very different from the normal people that you align yourself with. There could be some benefit in renewing those types of relationships with people from the past. But I strongly suggest my Taurus risings to look into going back to school at this time, especially if there's like a degree plan that you kind of like put to the side and you want to finish it up. You will have the motivation to finish that up for yourself. Okay, so Gemini risings, sun or moon. The first half of the Mercury retrograde has everything to do, again, you're another one, let's go back to school. So everything that I just told Taurus rising, let's go back to school, we are going back to school because this is a great time for that. You're another one that wants to go back and to kind of reaffirm your spiritual beliefs, reaffirm your religious beliefs in some way, reconnecting to those sources, those higher powers. Now, I forgot to say this. This is also the area of legal proceedings. So if some of my Gemini risings may have a legal situation or some type of involvement with a legal proceeding may possibly come back around again. Now, I don't know if this has something to do with you directly or if this has something to do with someone that is close to you, but it appears that a legal situation, Gemini risings and my Taurus risings, could come back up for whatever reason. Okay? So, whatever that is, hopefully that doesn't come around, but I just want you to be prepared for that. Now, Gemini risings, the second half of the Mercury retrograde has everything to do with the resources or finances you share with another person or another entity. So this should look like if you are in business with someone, if you and your have a spouse, if you have a spouse that you share monies with, I would strongly suggest that you pay attention to how your money is being handled with regards to another person. It's time for you to really take a serious look at the resources and finances you share with another person. You may be surprised about how your money is being spent or what type of debt that you may be in, especially if you're one of those people that is in a partnership with someone and you're kind of hands off with the finances. You need to be hands on with the finances because there may be some financial infidelity going on, but you definitely need to pay attention to your money and your resources. This is a good time that if you wanted to pay off your debt, you need to start reviewing how to pay off your debt. Now, this is great because other people's money, this is where, this is not the money that you earn. This is the money you get from someone else or through someone else. So, some of you could be getting unexpected money that comes to you from a source that you may have forgotten about. So this would be good for people that will pay back loans. You may need to ask somebody to pay you your money back. So you may get a loan repaid. You may get income tax returns that you weren't expecting. This is also the area of inheritances. So there may be something with regards to someone has left you something, and maybe it was tied up legally, and now you're able to receive it. But this is unexpected money coming from an unexpected source. This is also just, again, being mindful of the money you share with other people. You really need to pay attention to your finances and get some clarity on what's going on with your finances. Also, this is the area that governs sex and intimacy. Sex and intimacy. So, for those of you that are connected to someone, a spouse, a long-term relationship, or something to that effect, This may be a renewal of the intimate connection that you have with another person. Okay, so this is those of you that have found yourself kind of disconnected from your partner. This will give you the opportunity to renew yourself or renew your relationship. This is also the area of sex. So how this could play out with Gemini rising is someone from the past coming back that you had a really, really deep sexual connection with, that you may want to renew that connection with. Now, I don't know what the dynamics is. Y'all are grown. Y'all can figure out whether you want to try this again. But those types of people coming back into your life, wanting to reconnect with you. She's talking, ma'am, no babies. Those type of people wanting to reconnect with you, that is up to you whether or not you want to try the relationship again or try the connection again, Gemini rising. That's up to you, okay? But I would strongly suggest that you start paying attention to your money and, yeah, just pay attention to your money. So Cancer rising, Sun or Moon, you're another one. The first half of the Mercury retrograde is going to be the same as the Gemini risings. So this is all about your money, finances, resources that you share with another person, and also you paying attention to what is going on with that. Now, the second half of the Mercury retrograde Cancer rising has to do with the seventh house of relationships, partnerships, marriage, legal proceedings. So, Cancer rising, second half of this retrograde, you will possibly have a lot of people from the past come back. And this is by way of people you possibly dated, had some romantic connection, some old lover, something to that effect. Hey Tamika. Something to that effect. So Cancer risings, anticipate the second half of this retrograde to have everything to do with people from the past coming back, lovers from the past, people you've dated from the past coming back. And this is more of my my single Cancer risings. Now, those of Cancer risings that are coupled up, this may look like either you guys wanting to renew your relationship, or this could look like an issue from the past in your relationship coming back around again, and you having to deal with that. So again, Cancer risings, look out for people from the past. Now, here's my take on people coming back from the past during the Mercury retrograde. I am a firm believer that a lot of times the universe sends these people back to really see if you have learned your lesson, to kind of find out if you are going to make the mistake of getting back with this person again. Now, does it always have to play out like that? Maybe this was the one that got away, and now you're getting the opportunity to bring this person back into your life. But I would caution you on starting a relationship again under this energy. Could you hang out with them, have a conversation, try it again? Yes. But wait until after like the end of February to really see if this person has changed. Because the Mercury retrograde is all about temporary energy. So I would not want you to decide that you're going to rekindle this romance under this energy, and by the end of February, we're going to March, you realize this is the same old asshole that you dealt with before, and you just wasted your time getting back with them. Just be cautious. Be cautious with people coming back into your life, okay? Leo rising, Sun or Moon, that's my rising sign. The first half of the Mercury retrograde is actually going to be the same as Cancer's second half. So this is all about people coming back from the past, relationship issues coming back from the past, the opportunity to renew or strengthen a relationship coming back from the past. So you're another one. If someone comes back around, this is just kind of like the universe's test to find out if you've learned your lesson. Okay. Now, again, I'm just going to say that this could actually be, like I said, the one that got away, and now you get the opportunity to try it again. it may turn out to be a positive thing. But before you start making any commitments, wait until the end of February to really, really know if this person has changed, if you have changed, if you still feel the same way, or what the dynamics really, really are with this relationship. Now, Leo rising, the second half of this Mercury retrograde has everything to do with your health. That's mental and physical health. Your work environment. So this is the people that you work with, around, and for, and your day-to-day routine that you do for yourself, your pets, and how you're service to others. So Mercury retrograde could definitely bring job opportunities back around for you. So look for that. If you had started a job search and it did not go well, I would strongly suggest that you start it again. This would be great energy for you to restart your job search for the ideal job that you want. Now, if you're if you're working now, there could be an opportunity for a promotion. But I think this promotion or this change is going to be like a lateral change. It won't be something that is like you're being promoted. It won't be like a step up. It will be more like a lateral change, like you go from one department to another, and there's really no money the money's not going to be that big of a difference. Okay, so it's like a lateral promotion. This could also look like your work environment changing. So some of you, now Mercury retrograde does make you lose jobs sometimes, but I feel like it makes you lose a job for you to go into a better place. So sometimes we do lose jobs under Mercury retrograde. That is a possibility. But it's also a possibility of just a change in your work environment. So maybe some co-workers are leaving. Maybe you have a boss that's leaving. Like you said, maybe you're moving to a different department, or maybe you decide that you're ready to move on to another job. Now, if you do that, I would caution you about accepting a job that is a brand new job. The only way I would say moving on to a different job would be if this is something that you've been wanting for a while and you've already looked into this company and this is not something brand new. But if you can hold off on new job opportunities, or someone is offering you a new position, if you can at least hold off until after February the 3rd to accept the job, I would say you would be safe to do that. Now, this is also the area of health and fitness. So maybe there's some health issues or some health challenges that could possibly come back around for you that you need to address again. But this is great for going in and changing your diet, going in and reassessing how you're taking care of your physical health, how you're taking care of your mental health, and reworking your diet is good. This is also great for Leo risings to go ahead and get checkups. So going back to the doctor, getting a checkup, addressing any old health issues will be good for you around this time. Okay? Virgo rising, sun or moon, the first half of the Mercury retrograde is going to be the same as the second half of Leo risings because it has everything to do with health, fitness, your work environment. So what I told them is going to be what you're going to be dealing with the first half of January. But the second half of January, Virgo risings, you're going to be dealing with things in the 5th house. So that's old lovers coming back, old dating opportunities coming back. This is the area I consider the friends with benefits area. So this is where we have casual sex. So you may be having some lovers coming back during this time. What you do with that is your business, okay? But lovers coming back. Some of you may be finding out you are pregnant, Virgo risings. Some of you may be finding out you are pregnant and did not realize it. So that may be a thing for you, the second half of this Mercury retrograde. Or maybe the idea of starting a family comes up again. Maybe some of you were thinking about starting a family. You kind of put it to the side, and then the conversation comes up again about having a baby, starting a family. If I have some Virgo risings that have fertility issues or have been having trouble getting pregnant, this actually may be a good energy for you to try again, or this is a good energy for you to possibly find the medical procedure or find the doctor that can help you with your infertility issues. So this would be a good time to kind of go back and look at that again and see if there's something out there that can help you with assisting you with getting pregnant. Now, this is great for creative projects that you've had in the past. This is good for my Virgo risings to go back to old hobbies that they used to have and enjoy, because this is the house of joy. This is a house of just, finding your joy again. Is what's going to be a big thing for you the second half of this Mercury retrograde. And some of you that have been dealing in the stock market actually may see a return on it. So it may turn around for you with regards to the stock market. Okay? So that's Virgo rising. So Libra rising, sun or moon, the first half of this Mercury retrograde is the same as the Virgo rising second half with regards to starting a family, old lovers coming back, old friends with benefits coming back. Do what you want to with that, and possibly finding the correct course of action with regards to if you were having any type of fertility issues. Okay, now the second half of the Mercury retrograde has everything to do with your family. So this is going to look like the buying and selling of property, real estate, a home, family dynamics. So this could be those of you that have been trying to sell a home. You may actually have some success in selling this home. Those of you that have been looking for a new home, you may find something at this time. I would not initiate a new home search or a new apartment search at this time. I think it's just going to be more of a hassle than it's worth. You should probably wait until March to start looking for a new home. But if you're already in the process, or if you've already started your search, then continue on with that. This is another one that, since it's the fourth house, some of my Libra risings may be having someone moving back into the home with them, or there could be a return of a family member. So again, this could be actually someone physically moving back into your home, or if you've been estranged from a family member, you may start to hear from family members that you have not heard from in a while. And if there's something that needs to be corrected or fixed within the family dynamic, that issue could come up again with giving you the opportunity to fix it again. Now, this is also great for redecorating. So if you want to redecorate your current living space, if you want to start some renovations to your current living space, this is good energy for that. And those of you that still have your mother with you or prominent women in your family, please pay close attention to the women in your family. Okay? I'm going to leave it at that. So that could be your mother, your sister, your grandmother, those types of relationships. They may need your assistance during this Mercury retrograde for whatever that is. I'm not really sure. Scorpio risings, sun or moon. Your first half of this Mercury retrograde is going to be the same as Libra's second half. So what we just talked about by way of family is what you're going to be dealing with the first half of the Mercury retrograde. Okay? The second half of it is it has everything to do with your communications. So, Scorpio risings, I need you to pay attention to your vehicles. You could run into some vehicle issues. So pay attention to your vehicles. Pay attention to your driving, okay? I caution everyone to just pay attention to driving and be more aware. But especially my Scorpio risings, I want you to take your time and be patient with your driving. Some of you may even have the thought of getting another car. I'm going to say this. If the thought comes up about getting a new car, or you get this crazy idea that you want to trade in your car, can we wait until the end of February before we do that? Okay? You may change your mind. Okay? But this is the area of communication. So this is great for renegotiating contracts, renegotiating agreements. Scorpio risings may have opportunities that come back to them with regards to teaching opportunities, speaking engagements, things of that nature. If you are in sales, this is great for you to go back into your database and make contact with some of your clients and customers that you have not spoken with or did business with in a while, and kind of renew that relationship with them. This is also great for those of you, because this is all about communication, revamping your website, revamping your marketing strategies, anything that has anything to do with getting your face out, your vision out, your message out, selling yourself. I want you to go in and just review those things and make tweaks to them at this time, because we need to start to revamp how we're presenting ourselves to the world, and how we're selling ourselves, and how we're showing up in the world. But definitely hearing back from old business partners could come around, and renegotiating contracts and agreements that you have with other people. And this is also good for short distance travel. So these are road trips to places that you've been before. And this may bring a renewal of the relationship with your siblings, your cousins, and maybe your neighbors of some sort. Maybe your neighbors. And you're another one that may have a family member moving back in, or at least visiting for an extended stay. Okay? Okay, so Sagittarius rising, sun or moon, that same information is going to be for you in the first half of this Mercury retrograde. Okay, so it's all about your communication and things that we talked about. You just talked about with Scorpio risings. You're going to deal with that in the first half. The second half of this Mercury retrograde, this is going to be about your money. Okay, the money that you earn. So this could look like job opportunities coming up for you, money-making opportunities coming up for you from the past, money-making ideas that you had on the table before that did not pan out. This is a time for you to go back and look at those opportunities, look at those types of things. This is great for Sagittarius risings to start to declutter their space, decluttering things that do not carry any more value for you. Like if you're holding on to something and you're just like, you know what, I really don't feel the same about this thing, and I'm talking about material possessions. This is all great for donating and getting rid of those things and revamping those things, and going back in and reviewing how you value things. The value you place on money, the value you place on material possessions. You need to start going back and looking at that and making sure that you still have a healthy relationship with money and things, and that you're not placing too much value on it and too much of your self-worth. But this is going to be great for you to possibly get hear about again an old job. Someone offers you a job, or going back to these ideas you had about starting a business could come up again for Sagittarius rising. Capricorn rising, that same information is actually going to be what your first half of this retrograde is going to be. So all about your money and how you earn your money, and are you doing the way you're earning your money? Do you feel like it has value? At this time is also a thing with Capricorn rising. The connection of your value and the value you place on the work that you do. You probably were going back thinking about that. I think during this Mercury retrograde, my Capricorn risings, they may decide that they don't feel like they want to work for anyone anymore. And they may decide that this is the time that they want to branch off and start their own business. Wait until the end of February before we make any big changes, okay? All right. Now, Capricorn rising, the second half of this Mercury retrograde has everything to do with your physical body, how you show up in the world, the energy that you give off. So I would definitely say this is a time for you to start really thinking about changes you need to make with regards to your physical body. Some of you may start to think about going back and starting your self-improvement process again. So that could look like your fitness, your health, your eating habits, revamping your wardrobe. Capricorn rising is going to be a big deal because now you want to show up differently in the world. So you're another one that can go into your closet right now and start to declutter. So things that are no longer in style, things that you no longer wear, things that you just don't really think look good on you, get rid of those things. So we're going to declutter your wardrobe and we're going to start over again because you want to show up differently now. You're another one that could have the energy of people from the past returning. I would caution you in those relationships, but that's up to you what you want to do with that, okay? Aquarius rising, sun or moon, that same information is what you're going to be working on the first half of the Mercury retrograde. The self-improvement process, the going back and revamping your wardrobe, revamping your image, decluttering your closet, getting rid of things that are outdated so you can move into a new, fresh, new energy for yourself. Going back, checking your fitness goals, your health goals, changing your style, and you're another one that could be running into old people from the past this first half of Mercury retrograde. But Aquarius rising, your second half of the Mercury retrograde has everything to do with the places that you hide. I would strongly suggest my Aquarius risings, if you guys have ever thought about going into therapy, this will be the time that you need to go. It is very important that you take care of your mental health in 2022, okay? So what you'll probably find during this Mercury retrograde for Aquarius risings is they are wanting to isolate themselves, kind of pulling back from the general public, pulling back from the people around them. And that's crazy because Aquarius is a really social sign, but I think they're going to get in this mindset of needing to detach from people in order to just kind of renew themselves. It'd be great if you guys could go on a retreat of some sort, a spiritual retreat, but the therapy part of this is very important. I do believe that Aquarius risings possibly need to address some mental health challenges or some anxiety challenges or just maybe some demons that you have not been addressing, and this is the time that those things could come up again and force you to address them. Now, this is a time for Aquarius risings that the potential of starting a secret romance is very, very high, particularly with someone from the past. I would strongly caution you in getting involved with someone from the past because I don't believe that relationship, number one, will be healthy, but I also don't believe that relationship is going to be honest, because this could probably bring someone from the past that is still involved with someone else and they neglect to tell you that. So be very careful with people from the past, lovers from the past wanting to come and reconnect with you. Now, Aquarius risings, this could also have you dealing with people that are in confined spaces, hospitals, rehab centers, or prisons. I know that sounds strange, but it could happen. There could be someone that has an unexpected hospital stay. There could be someone that's close to you that's dealing with a legal situation that could be going into jail or coming out from jail. So however you want to handle that, good luck with that. But I strongly suggest that you start therapy during this time. And finally, Pisces rising, sun or moon. The second half of Aquarius, what we just talked about, is going to be what you're dealing with the first half. So, therapy, people from the past that are not fully available to you, dealing with issues that are going to probably come up again that you thought that you had dealt with or buried or pushed down. This is why I stress going to therapy, you know, hospital stays, people in confined spaces, all of that. And you know what? I forgot to tell Aquarius rising, but Aquarius rising and Pisces rising, you guys may be having some paranormal experiences. So this is possibly visits or signs from people that have crossed over into the afterlife, trying to communicate and give you some type of guidance or some type of messages from the other side, okay? Pisces risings, the second half of your Mercury retrograde is going to be about your friends. So friends from the past, dynamics with regards into your, somebody said, yeah. Paranormal experiences are a big deal during a Mercury retrograde because that is our ancestors, that is people that is trying to communicate with you and give you some guidance and some information. So you have to be very open and receptive to that kind of information during this time. But Pisces risings, so dealing the second half with friends, the dynamics, situations with friends, old friends coming back, social groups that you may have been a part of that you may want to start to reevaluate whether or not you want to continue to be a part of this group. Also reevaluating your long-term goals, dreams, and wishes during this time to make sure they still align with you. Some of your goals may have changed over this last couple of years, and you decide that that's not something that still resonates with you and you want to go into a different direction. Okay. Oh, and those of you Pisces risings that have been trying to start a home-based business, this could be the time that you can actually get it off the ground. If this is something that you have had thoughts about before, if it's something brand new, let's wait until springtime. But if this is something that you've been trying to get off the ground, that home-based business may come around at this time. Okay. All right, so that is how the Mercury retrograde is going to work for everyone. Does anyone have any questions, or is there anything that I need to clarify, or rising sign that you want me to go over?